The president on media and publicity said the new RMAFC Federal Commissioner who represents Rivers State is being appointed following tragic demise of the immediate past commissioner from the state, Honorable Asondo Wina Temple, earlier this month. The statement also said Akawo has served the nation as Nigeria's ambassador to South Korea, Minister of State of the Federal Capital Territory, sole administrator of the Greater Port Harcourt Development Authority, Chief Executive Officer, Niger Delta Development Basin Authority, and Executive Director, Nigerian Ports Authority, Engineering and Technical Service. The President tasked the new commissioner to deploy his robust experience across tiers of government towards the comprehensive reformation of the processes that will ensure the most efficient and productive utilization of allocations to all three tiers of government. All Progressive Congress National Working Committee on Wednesday dissolved the party executives in Rivers State. In a brief, while briefing journalists at the National Secretariat in Port Harcourt, in Abuja, the party spokesman, Felix Morka, says the National Working Committee of the party have appointed a 7-member caretaker committee to steer the party's affair in the state for the next 6 months. Speaking of Atlantic Television Open Conversation, a socio-political analyst, Reverend Nze, said that the matter at hand is politically inclined and against the Rivers State government as masterminded by political godfathers in the state.
Have we heard that APC in the state is quarreling with themselves? Have we heard the APC in the state is not aligning with APC at the federal? If yes, based on Wike's if I may say that, he intruded into the affairs of APC to destabilize them and work for the national. Yes, we see that. So this matter that is coming up now is number one against Simfubara. Okocha had worked hand in hand with Wike, yes or Wike, and they delivered. Supposedly, they delivered. Now, you see him coming to head same APC, which we know that Wike is PDP in his face, outwardly, APC inwardly. And now, if APC is under Tony Okocha, APC under Tony Okocha will be doing the biddings of Nyesom Wike, so that if he cannot, through PDP, secure what he's looking for against his political godson, he will secure it through APC. And nobody will come to say, blame him, he's the cause. He will say, no, this is APC affair. So we see Wike plotting against him through this.
Speaking further, he called on the governor of Rivers State, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, to be vigilant and visionary. He must wield the power of the state throughout his tenure, as there are other political motives from his opponents behind the happenings in the APC.
Wike is a go-getter, and I like him for that. So why should someone who say, you are condemning Wike, you are liking Wike? Even the Satan, the devil, I like Satan for one thing, he never gives up. So, and anybody who fights it, even Jesus Christ quoted Satan somehow. He said that we should be as gentle as dove and as crafty as serpent. And who is serpent? Is likened to Satan. So Jesus also expects us to be wise. So I am not in the category of those who condemn our enemies into anywhere I see greatness, I salute it, I don't care who carries it. So Wike is plotting now. Immediately after this election has been declared won, Wike began his game to have hold of PDP and have hold of APC. That at the time when he will come again with his ambition, he will have all the political gladiators in his camp, which even the president of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, is not aware of. But these again, just keep it somewhere. Coming to what you saw in the visit of Tony Cole to Ganduje and that of Tony Okocha to Ganduje, you see that even the governorship candidate who lost the election was not given attention. And someone who was considered a factional leader, someone who came to ridicule the state and the ambition of the governor in the state, in the same party, was being celebrated. The government we found ourselves in. So, to a large extent, we need God, but I believe that God will work through us. So, I am contributing my quota on air. Now, educating Nigerians to understand what game is going beyond or beneath the carpet. They need to stand up and say no to it. Now look at it. If Sim wants to survive from the attacks of Yeson Wike, let him fortify himself. How will you fortify yourself?
Indigenous of Uborodo community in Warri West, Southwest local government area of Delta State have set up the shrine of a fearful idol in front of the Chevron Escravos gas to liquid facility to protest the company's alleged non-implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act. The placard-bearing protesters who blocked the entrance of the facility said the idol, called Obe Jubele, was not harmful to the Chevron staff, but taking it there was a symbolic display to show that their ancestors were angry with the company, adding that they would not leave Chevron's facilities until the federal government prevails on the oil multinational to do the needful. The tender 14-1 demands, among which was a call for Chevron to implement the Petroleum Industry Act and the Ikpere Host Community PIA as agreed by the National Upstream Regulatory Commission, as well as give employment to youths and people of Uborodo and the Shekiri indigenes. The community leader Joseph Ireyu Foju said, despite there is ongoing maintenance work on the facility, it was wrong for Chevron to distract the attention of workers from the indigenes of Uborodo community, adding that Chevron does not respect the local content law. Chairman of the House Committee on Appropriation and Finance in the Akwa Ibom House of Assembly, Dr. Itorobong Etim, has assured that the 2024 appropriation bill will be passed before December 31st. Etim will disclose this while speaking on the 2024 appropriation bill brought to the Assembly for consideration by Governor Umoreno. Urged ministries, departments, and agencies to work with the committee throughout the budget defense in order to expedite the passage of the 2024 budget, adding that because the government is a continuum, the government will continue with the program started by the previous administration. She urged heads of the ministries, departments, and agencies in order to work with the committee, since it would not tolerate any excessive delays during the budget defense, and further said that the budget had mentioned that the 2024 budget will focus on improving the agriculture sector in order to achieve food sufficiency for Akwa Ibom residents. Still from Akwa Ibom State citizens based in the United States have called on President Bola Tinubu, the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, Akwa Ibom State Governor Umoreno, Nigerian Army, Police, and other security agencies to deploy every means within their powers to ensure immediate release of 8 Akwa Ibom youths abducted by gunmen on their way for national service scheme in Zamfara State. The group, under the auspices of Ibom People's Congress, United States Chapter, expressed dissatisfaction that both national and state governments obeying the call of the nation for a mandatory 1-year service to their fatherland. The president of advocacy group, Professor John Okon, who made the call in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital, regretted that the youths who willingly stepped forward to serve their motherland had been left in the kidnappers' den for over 90 days, adding that the group has sent letters to President Bola Tinubu, President Akpabio, Senate President, Speaker House of Reps Tajuddin Abbas and the National Security Advisor to do everything within their powers to ensure that the release of the young graduates and others abducted in the process. The IPC president, who was flanked by the Global Director of Communications of the organization, Mad Citizens Matthew Okonowo, and a member Greg Amber Obong, appealed to the state and the national leaders to forego political affiliations and sentiments and consider the trauma the victims are facing in captivity. The diaspora group also called on Nigerians, political and religious organizations to join voices in the call for the release of the young ones. The Court of Appeal sitting in Lagos has endorsed Governor Basio II as the winner of March 18, 2023 governorship election in Cross River State. The court dismissed appeal filed by the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Sandy Ono, for lack of merit. Reacting to the judgment in a statement through his chief press secretary, Emmanuel Obeche, Governor O2 said the ruling should bring an end to litigation on the outcome of the governorship election. The governor therefore extended a hand of friendship to the opposition, especially the People's Democratic Party's candidate, Professor Sandy Ono, to join his administration to deliver dividends of democracy to the people of the state. Governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the 2023 gubernatorial election in Cross River State, Senator Sandy Ono, is getting ready to approach the Supreme Court in a final move to challenge the election of Senator Basio II as governor of Cross River State. This is coming after the Court of Appeal sitting in Lagos and affirmed the decision of the Election Petition Tribunal of September 26, upholding the election of Governor Basio II and his deputy. Right Honorable Peter O'Day, as duly elected, dissatisfied by the Court of Appeal judgment, Honor Support Group, known as Caterpillar Movement, in a statement dated November 22, 2023, told her supporters that they will seek further legal option on the next possible steps. Meanwhile, Governor Basio II has said that his victory at the Court of Appeal should bring litigation over the governorship election to a close, and explained that the judgment by the Court of Appeal was a clear indication of the people's mandate and overwhelming support of the people of Cross River State. From Imo State Council report that Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State has withheld the appointment of the Commissioner for Lands, Survey and Physical Planning, Honorable Noble Atulegu, and the Special Advisor and General Manager of Imo Housing Corporation, Mr. Mbakwe Obi Jr., with immediate effect. The Secretary to the Imo State Government, Chief Cosmas Iwu, said the government directed the two officials to hand over to the most senior officers in their respective offices and did not give any reason for the governor's action. Labour Party governorship candidate in Imo State, Atan Achonu, and scores of his supporters stormed the national headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Abuja to demand a true certified copy of the just concluded poll results in the state. National Youth Leader Kennedy Ahanotu also accused the electoral umpire of playing a double standard in the November 11 off-cycle election, adding that the protests came 2 weeks after INEC declared Governor Hope Uzodinma of the All Progressive Congress winner of the election, stating that the APC candidate pulled 540,308 votes to beat Samuel Anyanwu of the People's Democratic Party, who scored 71,503 votes, and Achonu, who could only secure the 4,081 votes, while the two opposition candidates rejected the result and declared that the election was made by electoral irregularities. Meanwhile, INEC National Commissioners Mohammed Haruna and Professor Abdullahi Abdul Zuru, who came out to address the protesters, urged them to exercise patience and promised them that their grievances will be addressed by the Commission in earnest. Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization has advised President Bola Tinubu to release Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, to serve as the best Christmas gift to the people of the Southeast. The group made the call against the backdrop of the comments made by Chief of Defense Staff Christopher Musa, that self-acclaimed Biafran agitator Simon Ekpa was sabotaging the efforts of the security operatives in the Southeast, which is extended towards Kanu, and would not only make Musa's work easy, but also render Ekpa inconsequential and irrelevant. The Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization said Kanu's release will bring an end to the official security challenges created in the Southeast by criminals using his name as an excuse. While in a statement he signed, factional secretary of the Ohaneze, Okechukwu Isiguzo, lamented the killer headers and criminals who exploited the Biafran agitation to terrorize the Southeast. He also said it is disheartening to note that the people of the Southeast have suffered unjustly at the hands of Fulani herdsmen and criminals who have exploited the Biafran struggle to terrorize the region. While the Ohaneze Ndibo said it is shocked that the Chief of Defense Staff and security chiefs have not investigated or spoken out about the discovery of over 70 persons brutally murdered by the herdsmen operating from the Lopanta cattle market in Leru, Umunochi, Abia State. Allied People's Movement in Osun State has probed the performance report of the state budget of Governor Ademola Adeleke to exhibit fiscal discipline and responsibility to ensure socio-economic growth of the state. This is coming after it raised questions over the state's third Quadmari 2023 budget performance report, stressing that the governor must consider the allocation of Osun's resources vis-a-vis critical priorities and revenues accruable to the state, while in a statement issued by the chairman, Mr. Wale Adebayo, and who also doubles as the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, said the party strongly condemns the alleged wasteful spending of over 6 billion by Adeleke and the 209 million expended on personal expenses in the office of the governor. He also said the people of Osun State deserve a government that prioritizes their welfare and demands fiscal prudence, and it is the collective duty of all stakeholders to raise concern and condemn in totality such wasteful policies to ensure a responsible and accountable government. Court of Appeal, Lagos Division, has stopped the election of Babajide Owunduni of the People's Democratic Party and also removed the lawmaker representing Ikene constituency in the Ogun State House of Assembly. The court declared Kunle Sobukola of the All Progressive Congress the winner of the March 18 State Assembly election in Ikene State constituency. The court, in the appeal by the Honorable Olakunle Sobukanla and others, versus INEC and two others, directed Independent National Electoral Commission to issue Sobukunla's certificate of return as duly elected member representing the Ikene State constituency in the State House of Assembly. This is coming after INEC had declared Owuduni the winner of the election, despite the fact that on March 6, 2023, 12 days before the election, Owuduni resigned from the PDP and withdrew from the contest in letters delivered to the PDP and INEC, adding that Owuduni also went to Ogun State High Court, where he swore an affidavit of voluntary withdrawal from the race. Counsel to Sobo, Kanla, and the APC confronted him with contrary evidence showing that Owuduni was freely campaigning for the APC after withdrawing from the race, while the tribunal refused to void Owuduni's return by INEC on the grounds that Owuduni withdrew less than 90 days before the election and that such withdrawal was invalid in the appeal. APC and Sobukunle argued that a withdrawal can be made at any time and that a withdrawal is complete once it is made in writing and delivered to the political party in question, irrespective of whether the political party informs INEC or not. The Court of Appeal, in a panel comprising of Honorable Justice Teresa Ngoleka and Oji Abadua, Honorable Justice Mohammed Baba Idris, and Honorable Justice Hadiza Rabiu Shagari, saw merit in these strong legal arguments and upheld them. Consequently, the withdrawal of Houdini was upheld by the appellate court, while his declaration and return by INEC was set aside. Kogi of Seko Governorship Election Petition Tribunal, presided over by the President of Court of Appeal, Justice Monica Bolanle Doan, says it will convene on Saturday. Secretary of the Tribunal, Mr. David Umar Mike, who confirmed this in Lokoja. This is coming after Osman Ododo of the All Progressives Congress won the November 11 election with 144,203 votes, while his closest challenger, Murtala Ajaka of the Social Democratic Party, received 259 and 50,052 votes. Tribunal Secretary said, by God's grace, Tribunal will be sitting this Saturday, November 25th, and will take ex parte motions. Kogi government has ordered the freezing of all state and local government accounts with immediate effect. A statement signed by the Commissioner for Finance, Asiwaju Asiru Idris, said no impress or any form of payment will be made to anyone from government accounts henceforth. According to the statement, all standing orders and investment instructions are hereby cancelled forthwith, while local government accounts are hereby frozen with effect from today, Thursday, 22nd November 2023. Court of Appeals in Abuja has affirmed the victory of the Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule. The Independent National Electoral Commission had declared Sule All Progressive Congress as the winner of the election, while David Ombogad of the People's Democratic Party came second. Tribunal held that the Justice Ezekiel Ajayi, in a split judgment, held that based on evidence from the various polling units before the tribunal, Ombogadu had the majority of valid votes at the election. But Sule appealed the judgment and asked the appellate court to set it aside. While delivering judgment on the matter, the court expunged from its records the evidence and exhibits from which the tribunal relied on. While reading the lead judgment, Justice Uchechukwu Onwemenam held that the statements of the witness were not front-loaded, adding that it is the duty of the appellate court to ensure that such illegality, inadmissibly evidence, is expunged. The appellate court also faulted the decision of the tribunal in summarily dismissing evidence and testimony which was called by the governor, showing that the tribunal acted wrongly when it recomputed votes and made a declaration that returned the PDP candidate as the winner of the election. From Katsina State government has extended financial assistance to families affected by the recent bandits attack in Damusa local government area, which reportedly claimed the lives of 8 individuals. The senior special assistant to Governor Diko Umaru, rather on banditry and internally displaced persons, Alhaji Saidu Ibrahim Danja, disclosed that the government had so far disbursed over 50 million to victims of banditry across the state, adding that funds were disbursed to empower widows who lost their husbands in the attacks. Danja disclosed this while disbursing about 4.2 million to assist families of both security personnel and civilians who lost their lives, as well as those who sustained injuries during the recent attacks in Damusa LGA, adding that government also covered the medical expenditure. Danja also said the financial aid is aimed at alleviating the suffering of the victims and not compensation. Adamawa State Governor Amadu Fintri has advised men of the Nigerian Army and Nigerian Police in the state to peacefully resolve the differences following an attack allegedly carried out by soldiers on the State Police Command's headquarters. This is coming after the Adamawa State Police Command headquarters in Yola was allegedly invaded by the Nigerian army, killing an inspector of police, identified as Jacob Daniel, and called for calm on the two security agencies, urged them to carry out their statutory duties in peace. This is coming after a police inspector who narrowly escaped death during the alleged attack, said intimidation by the military personnel would not longer be tolerated, while a senior military officer blamed the incident on the alleged unprofessional conduct of police personnel involved. The Adamawa State Commissioner of Police, Afolabi Babatola, while condemning the attack on the headquarters by the army, called on his men to be careful and guard against any attack on fellow security personnel. While in a statement signed by the police public relations officer, SP Suleiman Yahaya Ngoroje, Babatunde strongly condemned the conflict between the police and the army personnel along the target junction, Yola North local government area, which resulted in an exchange of fire and brutal attack on the police facility, killing Inspector Daniel. The Commissioner ordered an immediate investigation into the matter to ensure peace and justice among two security agencies, and also warned that attacks on security officers on duty no longer be tolerated under whatever guise. Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has upheld the victory of Governor Muhammadu Inuayaya in the March 18 governorship election in Gombe State. This is coming after Yahaya of the All Progressive Congress was declared winner of the election by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Certified to copy of the appeal court judgment on Kano State governorship election has accepted the victory of Alba Kabiari Yusuf as duly elected governor of the state. State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Haruna Denderi said the latest discovery will strengthen their position at the Supreme Court, and that indication in the written judgment of the Court of Appeal set aside the judgment of the Kano Election Petition Tribunal for lacking in merit. A copy of the judgment showed that evidence contained on page 67 of the copy of the Appeal Court judgment released and signed by Registrar Jamil Ibrahim Omar. The Appellate Court upheld the victory of Abba Kabir Yusuf of the New Nigerian People's Party as duly elected governor of the state. This is coming after the three members of the Appeal Court panel in the lead judgment read by Justice Moore Asemo Ibrahim Amuin on Friday, 17 November 2023, which dismissed the appeal filed by the Governor Yusuf based on his membership status. Also, the Appellate Court subsequently affirmed Nasiru Yusuf Gawuna of the All Progressive Congress, APC, as the winner of the March 25th, 2023 governorship poll in Kano, while the Kano State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice Haruna Denderi said page 67 of the certified copy of the judgment indicated that the tribunal's ruling that sacked Governor Yusuf was set aside, that the whole issue may be borne out of a typical mistake, which will be corrected at the Supreme Court. Chieftain of New Nigerian People's Party, Comrade Olufemi Ajadi, has petitioned National Judicial Council over the Court of Appeal judgment of the Governorship Council election in Kano State. In a petition written to the National Judicial Council, Ajadi urged the council to investigate the controversy surrounding the judgment, adding that the court had affirmed the sack of Kano State Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf from office, adding that the investigation becomes necessary after a paragraph in one of the pages of the certified true copy of the Appeal Court indicated victory for Yusuf, even though the court's announcement on Friday favored APC Nasiru Gawuna. The NNPP chieftain enjoined the Nigerian Judicial Service Commission to clarify the matter, adding that investigation has become necessary thus to ensure that the truth is not swept under the carpet. The Nigerian People's Party said it has set the agenda for justice and will retrieve the mandate given to its candidate in its March 23 March 18, 2023 election in Kano State, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, as announced by the Independent National Election Commission, National Secretary of the party, Dipo Olayok, states that the announcement by INEC prompted All Progressive Congress to go to tribunal to challenge Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf's victory on September 20, 2023, which the tribunal delivered its ruling giving victory to the APC candidate, who was not part of the case.
I've invited you here today as a matter of urgency to brief you on the latest developments in our quest to get justice and retrieve the mandate freely and willingly given to our candidates in the March 18, 2023 governorship election in Kano State. Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, as announced by the electoral umpire, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The announcement by INEC prompted the All Progressive Congress, APC, but please note this, without their candidate, to go to the tribunal to challenge Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf's victory, and the tribunal on the 28th of September 2023 delivered its ruling and gave victory to the APC candidate, who was not a party in the case. The People's Governor, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, promptly proceeded to the appeal court, and 3 justices, Honorable Justice Moore Asemo Abraham Adumian, JCA, Honorable Justice Bitrus Garazama Sanka, JCA, and Honorable Justice Latif Adebayo Ganiyu, JCA, heard the matter and delivered a judgment in the appeal number CA/KN/EP/Gov/CAN/34/2023 on Friday, November 17, 2023.
According to the MPP National Secretary, judgment delivered by the Honorable Justice Moore Asemo and others was in favor of an MPP candidate, and the sum of 1 million naira only is hereby awarded as cost in favor of the appellant, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, against the first respondent, APC.
The CTC showed that the judgment delivered by Honorable Justice Moore Asemo Abraham Adume, JCA, and concurred to by Honorable Justice Bitrus Yarazama, JCA, and Honorable Justice Latif Adebayo Ganiyu, JCA, is actually in favor of our candidate, the Governor of Kano State, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf. 67 of the extant judgment, in its conclusive findings, held inter alia. 1. This is the submission of the justice who read the judgment. In the circumstances, I resolve all the issues in favor of the appellant, and who is the appellant in this case, Engineer Yusuf Abba Kabir. And the judgment went further, that the judgment of the tribunal in petition number EPT/KN/Gov/01/2/2023 between the All Progressive Congress, APC, versus INEC and 2 others, delivered on the 28th day of September 2023, is hereby set aside. That is the Court of Appeal in their conclusive finding. The judgment went further. The sum of 1 million naira only is hereby awarded at costs in favor of the appellant, and who is the appellant in this case? Our Governor, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf, and against the first respondent.
An MPP called on the National Judicial Council to commence investigation to unravel what happened in the matter.
We are an interested party. We own the platform on which Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf ran for the election and was declared the winner. We are therefore calling on the National Judicial Council, NJC, to without delay commence investigation to unravel what happened in this matter. Also, we are calling on eminent members of the bench, both retired and serving, and the bar, to be interested in what happened, that we have the kind of scenario presented in the CTC of the judgment of the Court of Appeal. In addition, we call on leaders, elders, and other major stakeholders in the Nigerian project, including the media, to step into this matter to avert the danger this type of signal from the judiciary portends for our democracy in particular and our country in general.
In an interview with an NPP official, Honorable Abdul Muwini Jopin said NPP is not fighting anyone, but into talk by alliances.
We are concerned about the development as it relates to the Kano governorship elections. We will continue to have confidence in Nigerian judiciary. We all know what happened in the tribunal and also what happened in the appeal and the confusion that has followed as a result of the release of the CTC. So as a caucus, we'll continue to discuss amongst ourselves to see how we will continue to encourage the judiciary, to continue to support the judiciary, to always stand on the side of truth and to always focus on substantial, as lawyers will say, substantial justice. Well, it is important that you take note of this. We are not fighting anyone. You can look at it from the history of when we won election, the presidential election itself.
Briefing, Major General Edward, 578,900 liters of stolen crude, 454,330 liters of illegally refined agro. And you're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We'll be going to a short break. After the break, we'll come back and more news will follow. Welcome back. This is Global News on Atlantic Television Network. Now the rest of the stories.
Because you want the security of the of Abuja Capital Territory, you know, and you are going contract to install city cameras, and the person just went away with the money without doing nothing, and you have seen it happening. People are being killed, people are being kidnapped over time. Thank God that his personal aide has been kidnapped, and he had to raise the issue. So I think trusting the former governor of Rivers State with his capability and what he can do, I think if he's given the mandate by the National Assembly or the Senate to do that, I think he would do that, part of it. Security of Abuja is very key in terms of development. So he will do it if given this mandate to do that. Of course, sometimes we read this on papers and there are no actions taken. You just raise issues and at the end of the day, nothing is done.
A set of assumptions that will be used to prepare the country's budget over the next 3 years. The upper chamber approved the document with a borrowing plan of 7.8 trillion naira for 2024. 9 trillion naira deficit, and federal government total expenditure of 26 trillion naira. To recall that the House of Representatives has its own version of the documents recently.
The Senate approved the medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper with a borrowing plan of 7.8 trillion naira for 2024, 9 trillion naira deficit, and federal government total expenditure of 26 trillion naira. The Senate approved the benchmark of oil price of $73.96, $73.76,
and let's work hard to ensure that it goes even lower at the end of the day.
Another recommendation that attracted debate was the recommendation that the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited worked.
Cost of production varies from place to place. Ours in the oil industry is, of course, no doubt the highest in the world. Why? Insecurity and other issues that government is not able to provide. And therefore, they build in so much into the cost of production. What they do in the real cost, in the real production, is not different from what is done elsewhere. It's very sensitive. And
numerous.
Primary healthcare services can work in Nigeria. Maybe some of the things we've been lacking is being a situation where every player has been working independently. And at the end of the day, we end up not attaining what should have been attained in terms of development. And you will all agree with me that our primary health care is not the way it should be. Despite
Oil limiters, modular